in the book, and more as well in the exhibit. We're certainly, we welcome all members to make proposals for fellowship. So find out more, and if you have any questions, feel free to speak to us. Anyways, without further ado, Alison, you got it working, so we're on track. Sure. Okay.
Maybe I can take this off. I'm not sure I'm quite tall enough here. So, yeah, hi. I'm going to be talking about my flag expedition, painting the painted dogs. You'll notice I'm yet another Brit. We're invading this weekend. I do live in the US, about half an hour north of Manhattan. Prior to moving here in 2002, my husband Nigel and I lived in southern Africa, in Botswana and Zimbabwe, for nearly 9 years. Now I'm sure that many of you, see if I can get the right button here, yeah, I'm sure that many of you have come across African wild dogs. We actually tried to get a glimpse of them at the zoo today, but they weren't playing ball, I'm afraid. Yeah, who knows. In Zimbabwe, which is where I went for my expedition, they call them painted dogs for 3 reasons. The first is that they believe that the name African wild dog implies that they're vicious, or that they're feral dogs that have just run away from a village and are now living in the bush. And actually this is a very ancient species, so none of that, of course, is true. The second reason is that their Latin name, Lycaon pictus, means painted wolf-like animal. And the third reason is that they all have these beautifully individual patterned coats. So some dogs are very pale, some are very dark, and that gives them a painted appearance. And also gave me what I thought was an excellent name for a flag expedition, Painting the Painted Dogs. Now, on not such a light note, this map here shows the mustard areas here, show the range of the dogs around 1900, when there were believed to be about 300,000 to 500,000 dogs in Africa. What you can see now, the bright red and the dark red blotches, very few of them, show the populations that are believed to be sustainable today. And we're talking now about 3,500 to 5,000 dogs. So literally within 100 years, we've basically lost 99% of these dogs. Also, just to show you, this is where I was going. Oh, sorry. my map's got a little strange here, hasn't it? This is where I was going, Zimbabwe, down here. And this area here, where there is the red blotch, that's Wangi National Park. So that's where my flag expedition was based. Now, having, as I said, having lived in Africa and knowing a bit about the dogs, you know, we were lucky enough to see them many times when we lived in Botswana. I knew that they were highly elusive, that I would be best suited to stay at a project associated with the dogs. You know, I could have hired a vehicle, driven around for 6 weeks and never seen a dog had I just gone on my own. So I wanted to be associated with a project, but I wanted it to be a conservation project, not pure research, because I was very interested in the community involvement aspects of the project. And I knew a little bit about the Painted Dog Conservation Project based just outside Wangi National Park. I'd met the director, Greg Rasmussen, and so I'd spoken to him and I thought this would be a pretty good place for me to visit. This was a year ago, so I was there from the end of August until mid-October a year ago. Now, PDC, Painted Dog Conservation Project, has a number of fantastic facilities, that most of which are quite new actually. This is the inside of their visitor centre, which was completed and opened the day I arrived. Everything was produced locally. It's full of artwork, details about the environment, the dogs. Everything is written in English and in Ndebele, the local language. And it's just a great facility that they've put together. You know, you can go in there for 10 minutes and get a quick overview of the life of the dogs. Or, like I did, you can be in there for 2 days solidly, reading every piece of information. So it really is an excellent facility. They also have a dog rehabilitation facility. So if they find a sick or injured dog, they can actually take it in, give it some medical care before releasing it back into the wild again. And they have another fantastic part of the project. One of the largest parts, actually, is their children's bush camp. This is extremely popular. All the local schools want to come here, and they've just had to start inviting some of the parents as well, because you know, the kids wanted to come, the teachers get to come, now the parents are asking, why can't we come? This is where the local schools come to PDC. They come in for 4 nights for free. They learn all about the area. They take the kids into the national park, which many of them have never been into a national park, even though they may live on the borders of the park. They get to see the wildlife, they get to see the dogs, they go out with researchers, so it's very popular. And one other thing, this is sort of echoing what Kat said. The main problem for the dogs, if you look at their range throughout Africa, their main problem is habitat loss. But in Zimbabwe at the moment, given the economic situation, there is a big problem with snaring, poaching. And PDC has set up 2 anti-poaching units which patrol the areas outside Wangi National Park 6 days a week, all year round. The national park's not fenced. It's surrounded by communal areas where people live in the villages, they graze their livestock. It's also surrounded by forestry areas and hunting concessions. And also, Wangi borders Botswana, and the border is not fenced either. So there is a huge ecosystem that the wildlife can move around freely, which obviously causes quite a few problems because the dogs need large areas to range. And so what I've done, I don't know if somebody could flick the lights up just for a moment. Can you do that? Great. I actually brought with me, actually, while you were there, David, yes. You don't fancy being volunteered.
No.
I brought a snare back with me, okay? We'll just see if we can, sorry, I'll just take this out of here for a moment. This is a very, very unruly piece of wire, and I have to keep it taped up, and every now and again I hear this explosion, you know, in the cupboard, and the thing is just, you know, unravelled. We'll see if we can get it far now. Basically, I took the view that the Zimbabwean authorities wouldn't mind that it was leaving the country, and that the American authorities wouldn't know what it was. So it's been very useful, you know. We're nearly there. So, right, you just have to not let go of the end, because I obviously don't want to scratch anything or cause any damage in here. So, let's see if we can do this. You're the tree, okay? So just, yes, just don't let go of it. Okay, so this is, you know, as Kat was saying, it's basically made out of fencing wire, telephone cables. They're not set to catch the dogs. They're set for antelope mostly, or buffalo. This one is a double loop of wire. We found, when I went out with the anti-poaching unit, we found about 30 of these in an area the size of this room. So really they were set to catch a herd, you know, that came into the bushes to lie up for the day. And so it's very simple, you know, it's literally just a slip knot. So, you know, as you saw also in Kat's photo, they just hook it onto the bushes on the edge of a game trail. The animal walks through, and, you know, as it walks away, it gets caught. So it's a big problem in Zimbabwe, and yeah, here we go. This is the difficult bit. Can I give you? Yeah. Thank you very much. So yeah, lots of snares. Now the other thing I brought with me is a couple of these, which I'm going to pass around. The anti-poaching unit, when they find snares in the bush, they take the wire back to a local village called Dete, close by, and artisans at the art centre make the wire, snare wire, into these masks. And I've got a couple of these you can have a look at. If you're wearing white, just don't put it Don't put them on your clothing. There's another one over here.